for all the examples we've seen. Him suing Showtime for $300 million, him foreclosing on multiple properties, him losing on investments on multiple properties, him buying a lot of depreciating assets, and him all of a sudden looking to box very much in the year 2026. Floyd losing money Mayweather, as the chatter says, is in dire straits financially.
Because they don't like him. They don't like him because everything that he says is about money. There's nothing else. There's no values. There's no, like the people's champ, like Ali was standing for the same things.
Right.
The audience was standing for. You know, he doesn't have any of that. It's just money. You know what I'm saying? And that, he knows you don't like him.
Some people will say, you know, he's suing now because of his gambling habits, which was not hidden. It was not a secret. He would post, not Teddy Atlas talk about anything that wasn't out there. He would post some of his tickets, his betting tickets that he bet, and they were large bets. And so some people will say, oh yeah, like you said, he was Mayweather, Money Mayweather, and now he's suing because he went through his money, he blew his money, whatever.
Floyd Mayweather was once known as one of the richest athletes, but now he is dealing with serious problems as legal issues continue to grow and the boxing world is reacting with concern, while Manny Pacquiao may also respond to recent comments about their fight.
There's no joy. We are not one of these sick people, and I call them sick. I'm not afraid to say what I feel. That's in their underwear in grandmother's basement or wherever the frick they are, taking pot shot at people because of their misery, because of their misfortune, because they're in a bad place. Shame on you. And shame on the people out there. I know that there's some of them. Everyone knows I don't really read that internet unless somebody shows me specifically some stuff. And I saw some of the stuff. I didn't want to see any more, so I told them, don't show me any more. But I saw enough to see what was out there. People taking shots at a great fighter, Mayweather. Probably the same people that were, applauding him and saying how great he was at one point, and now they're taking shots at him like they're almost, like they get pleasure out of seeing a great.
Reports suggest Floyd's wealth is not as strong as he claimed, with debts, unpaid bills, and borrowed assets, showing a different reality, and calling the fight an exhibition after taking professional payment could create contract problems.
Had to say the fight weekend of Fundora and Thurman. Apparently he did an interview, said that it was an exhibition, that these guys didn't have anything to prove, that their legends were already set in stone, and that it would be an exhibition. He wasn't sure if it was going to be at the Sphere. Apparently, that is not true. According to a Boxing Scene article that interviewed Jazz Mathur, the CEO of Manny Pacquiao Promotions, said that, yes, the fight is contracted for the Sphere, booked at the Sphere, scheduled at the Sphere for September 19th. It is booked as a professional fight, not as an exhibition. It was never booked as an exhibition, which makes sense because Netflix got behind it, and I would assume that they would not want an exhibition. We said the other day, I think it was actually yesterday, we said that this fight has to be a real fight and not an exhibition because, one, Netflix is involved, two, Manny Pacquiao wants that get back, and two, also just betting lines. It's a huge aspect of this sport, and this kind.
Experts say his statements may go against official announcements, and taking advance money, then changing the fight status raises questions about his actions and past deal patterns.
Something is off. Something's completely off because you got one person saying it's a real fight. You got the promotion saying this is a real fight. You got Floyd Mayweather saying, no, this is an exhibition. There's two things that are happening here. Either somebody messed up in paperwork or in communication or in some form of getting this fight together, misspoke to one of these guys, or Floyd Mayweather is trying to scam Netflix. That is the only two things that can be possible here. Because we then get the report, as of yesterday, that Floyd Mayweather has already taken a cash advance payment of his purse for the upcoming Manny Pacquiao rematch on Netflix, despite it currently being in jeopardy. I don't even know how that's possible. Who gave him a cash advance before they even got to the fight? I understand like paying some up front to secure the fight, but paying everything? Maybe it's not what it is. Maybe the cash advance is like...
Some believe his situation shows how poor financial decisions and lack of proper guidance can affect even top athletes over time.
Fighters, they risk everything. They risk so much. And then everything they took the risk for sometimes is lost. Whether it was Joe Louis, whether whoever. It never becomes not sad or unfortunate to hear. Never. It's a, look, you could say it's their responsibility. It is. It is. You got to know what's going on. But there are also sharks in this business, in any business. And sometimes these athletes, I wouldn't even specify fighters. We're talking about fighters. But you hear it in football, Bud. You were around it. You hear it in basketball. Sometimes these athletes, they don't have the right people around them to look out for them, to properly educate them, to properly advise them. Hey, some don't listen.
His close business associate is also facing legal trouble as Pacquiao's team pushes for action and says Floyd must follow the agreements he already signed.
An exhibition and not a real fight?
That's what he's feeling, but he signed a real fight.
So it's for sure?
Yes, the contract that we signed is a real fight.
Real fight, okay. Yeah, because I know he said...
I want to fight an exhibition.
No exhibition. It's a real fight or not?
Yeah, it's a real fight. Yeah.
Is Spears still in Las Vegas?
That's the contract that he signed.
Yeah. So it's still happening though.
He built his image by showing wealth, but current lawsuits and disputes reveal a gap between his public image and his real financial condition.
From Pretty Boy Floyd to Money Mayweather. Changed the whole thing.
He knew what he was doing.
He definitely did. It would have been an interesting fight had he fought Pacquiao when he was younger, in his prime. It would have been a very different
Would have been
fight.
a more interesting fight.
Much more different.
Because
Much more difficult
any
fight.
go-forward physical warrior like Pacquiao is going to wear down.
Right, exactly.
And any brilliant counterpuncher like Floyd is going to retain more.
Yeah.
So he did.
Yeah, it would have been much more interesting when they were younger. Also, the fact that Pacquiao fought him with a bum shoulder. That was a disaster, too.
Money talks.
Yeah. I mean, look, I guess he was faced with this thing, legacy, it was the biggest pay-per-view of all time in boxing, correct?
I believe so.
I believe so. And I think it was like 4 million buys or something crazy like that.
It was huge.
So, what is that?
It was massive.
Critics say people often dislike his focus on money, but he used that attention to grow his earnings, proving his brand worked in both praise and criticism.
You gotta talk about it. 18 mil retired. I know some people gonna be like, well, you said I didn't want to say I was active because that's normal. I said I wasn't activated. I knew what I said. So a lot of times I'm like, oh, you didn't say it right. I know I said it right. I knew what I said. I knew what I posted.
I don't really care how much you make, bro. I feel like writing an $18 million check has to feel some sort of way.
That's crazy. I didn't want to do it. Of course, I'm like, who wants to give up basically 20 million?
You wrote 18,180,000,000.00. Like, bro, that's crazy.
I got huge deals on the table, so I'm always making shake.
What's the biggest thing you got working right now?
I can show this. Come here. So come here. So,
Dude, what is it?
Keep this alone, okay? So right here.
That's crazy.
I just keep stuff on the low.
Yeah, my math don't work like that. My math.
So now, when we gonna cut it again?
Analysts explain that overspending and poor planning can lead athletes into financial trouble later, and Floyd is now seen as an example of that.
He said something to me one time, very simple. He said, what a prize fighter fight for? And I'm like, and he said, the prize. So it's okay for you to watch the fight. Don't nobody watch Floyd fight to see how amazing he is. They watch it for the opportunity to see him lose.
Right.
Because they don't like him. They don't like him because everything that he says is about money. There's nothing else. There's no values. There's no... The people's champ, like Ali was standing for the same things.
Right.
The audience was standing for. He doesn't have any of that. It's just money. You know what I'm saying? And that, he knows you don't.
His habit of spending heavily without a clear plan shows how even large fortunes can disappear without discipline and smart decisions.
How do you feel about Floyd with the 3 fights that's coming up? Floyd Mayweather, Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather. I think the guy's from Greece or something like that. What do you feel about great champions doing these kind of fights as well, or just these kind of fights that's going on?
You need money.
Damn.
Yeah, you need money. This is the problem with boxing. You think about financial literacy, right? And you talk about like NFL players or NBA players. There's support systems for those dudes. There's nothing like that for fighters. They got to figure it out all themselves. And if you're a fighter, that means you did not have options.
Right.
Yeah. It's not like basketball or football. If you could, like, by the way, football players couldn't play basketball or they play basketball. It's a better deal, right? That's if you can, you do. And boxers couldn't do either one of those things, right? They're too small or they got hurt, whatever it is. And so you're dealing with a section of our...
Reports claim Floyd has taken advance money for a possible fight, which is unusual and may lead to more legal trouble due to past deal patterns.
For that, there's no support or kind of structure in place to help them at all. And so what usually happens with almost every fighter who ever lived, not everyone, but most of them, is they wind up going broke at a certain point, right? First of all, taxes, child support, all that kind of stuff, that promoters, this and that, and then just the way you spend your money. Could be bad investments. You could try to do the right thing and wind up with bad investments. You could just spend too much. And the thing is, if you're not the best in the world anymore, but you're one of, let's say, the 50 best in the world at what you do in your weight class, still hard to tell that dude you can make $100 million. No, don't do that because you're old.
Right.
Why would he not?
Some believe his financial struggles and lifestyle choices have pushed him to take new fights later in life to maintain his image.
This is to be believed, and this is via ESPN. This is not, random Twitter person reporting this. I think Mike Coppinger also reported the same thing. If this is to be believed, Floyd took a cash advance and then undermined the promotion of his own fight to try to protect his 50-0 record and still make a bag. Floyd has done this for years. He has done this for years, especially after his pro career. When he was doing these exhibitions, he would not show up to things he was obligated to do, take advances. Even the Deji fight, you can ask Deji. I was there. Floyd demanded that they pay him some insane amount of money or he wasn't going to fight Deji while he was at the venue. And they wanted to change gloves and do all this stuff. And I think they actually did it. They paid Floyd to do it. And I've seen this with a bunch of his exhibitions. And obviously we know about the Logan Paul situation, how Floyd shopped his fight to a different company after essentially scamming royalty like Prince, whoever. And
others think his controversial statements are part of a strategy to create hype and attract attention, showing he still knows how to keep people talking.